Why is one Republican congressman demanding the release of the Epstein files, while both parties seem eager to sideline him? Meet Thomas Massie, the MIT engineer turned congressman who's become one of the most controversial and independent voices in Washington. Massie has challenged Republican leadership, criticized Democrats, questioned foreign aid, opposed massive spending bills, and repeatedly pushed for more transparency surrounding the Epstein case. To supporters, he's one of the last honest politicians in Congress. To critics, he's a political disruptor who creates chaos. So who is Thomas Massie really? And why has he become such a target? Before politics, Thomas Massie was an engineer. He graduated from MIT, started a technology company, and built a reputation as an outsider long before entering Congress. Unlike many politicians, Massie didn't come from party leadership circles or political dynasties. And once he got to Washington, he quickly became known for one thing: voting against the establishment, even when it was his own party. Massie regularly votes against massive spending bills, government surveillance expansions, and legislation he believes violates the Constitution. While most politicians fall in line with party leadership, Massie often refuses. That independence earned him a loyal following online, especially among anti-establishment voters who believe both parties protect the same political system. One of the biggest reasons Thomas Massie exploded into national attention recently is his repeated push to release the Epstein files. Massie didn't just mention it once. He repeatedly pressured Congress and the Department of Justice to release more information connected to Jeffrey Epstein and his associates. He pushed for transparency, criticized redactions, and publicly questioned why more information was still being withheld from the public. Supporters saw him as one of the few politicians willing to challenge powerful people, no matter who was involved. Critics argued the issue was becoming political theater. But regardless of where you stand, the Epstein issue brought Massie national attention far outside Kentucky. But Massie didn't stop there. He also took aim at one of the most powerful lobbying forces in Washington, AIPAC. As pro-Israel groups and allied PACs reportedly spent millions trying to defeat him, Massie supported efforts pushing for greater transparency involving foreign lobbying influence in American politics. Massie argued that Americans deserve to know who influences lawmakers in Washington, regardless of the country involved. Supporters called it courageous, critics called it dangerous and divisive. But one thing became clear: Massie was willing to challenge subjects that many politicians avoid completely. To supporters, Massie represents something rare in modern politics: consistency. They point out that he often votes the same way regardless of pressure, media backlash, or party loyalty. Even many people who disagree with him admit he appears to genuinely believe what he says. But critics argue that Massie can be too ideological. They say governing requires compromise, and that constantly opposing leadership can make it harder to pass legislation. Others believe some of his positions push political conflict even further during an already divided time in America. So is Thomas Massie one of the last truly independent voices in Congress? Or is he an example of why anti-establishment politics can create more division? Either way, he's become one of the few politicians capable of making both parties uncomfortable at the same time. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want more political breakdowns without the mainstream spin, subscribe for more.